Welcome back, guys. Another installment of the Ball Busters show. I'm Marley. That's Lawrence. As always, we're here to talk football. It's what we do. We're doing about once a week at this point. And we're here to talk Super Bowl Sunday. This is the pinnacle of our season. This is what every single football game is played for. Well, unless you're a team that's tanking, but that's a different conversation. Um, how you feeling today, Lawrence?
Feel great. So ready. Uh, Sucks that we had to go a week without football, but I think this game will make up for it.
It absolutely will. I'm pretty stoked myself. I think this is going to be a great matchup. But before we dive into all of that, we still haven't talked about the championship week games. We haven't discussed last weekend. Well, I should say 2 weekends ago. And I'm gonna kick it over to you, Lawrence. I want to hear your
Yep.
thoughts on that weekend.
Yeah, I just want to give a quick rundown. We're gonna start with the Patriots and Broncos. What a game. Um, Start this off. When asked if the Broncos would win, they had Bo Nix, their cornerback, Pat Surtain. The second said, "Yeah, no doubt." We've seen all kinds of headlines coming out of the Broncos ever since that game. It seems like there might be some friction behind closed doors. Sean Payton's going up there and being Sean Payton, saying things that maybe he shouldn't be saying about his players. Um, but when we did the prediction video for this round, I think we both predicted the Patriots because of Stidham.
Yeah.
I wanted in my heart of hearts I wanted the Broncos to win, and the first half it looked like they might be able to pull it off. Stidham was playing his heart out, but if you take a screenshot of the game in the first quarter and compare it to what the game looked like in the fourth quarter,
Mm.
I mean the weather conditions went south very fast.
Oh yeah.
And it was very mighty convenient that the Patriots were decked in white. And that came up huge for them. I mean, the Patriots were playing. I'm not trying to take anything away from them. That defense was stout all the way through. And I mean, that's kind of the short and skinny of it is that Patriots played, Stidham tried, the Broncos tried. They definitely didn't, they definitely put their best foot forward, but it was all too much in the end. What do you think?
No, I think you're absolutely correct, and frankly, I agree with PS2. If they have Bo Nix in that game, I think things look a lot different. Um, and that's just from the perspective of they lost by 3 points, and Stidham had them in a position to score that 3 points, but Sean Payton decided to go for it, decided to make that call. Um, which just goes to show this. You can take this back to the Bears Rams game if you want to. In the playoffs, you need to take your points. When there's 3 points sitting there, there's 3 points sitting there. And I think that rather than this game being telling of New England being, a force to reckon with and going into this game with high hopes, I kind of think the opposite in a way. That they went out there against a backup quarterback and only won by 3 points. Granted, Stidham was not playing defense, obviously, and Denver's defense is it's a wrecking ball. It's a force, but it's still telling that they went out there and they only put up those 10 points. It's telling that Drake May is fifth in the playoffs in rushing yards. Like a brunt of his touches, a brunt of him, like what he's doing within the game is using his mobility. And while there's nothing wrong with that, I don't think he'll have that same success against Seattle, having your quarterback be your top rushing option. Um, I think Denver. This definitely not Dallas this deep in the playoffs. Denver definitely put up a great effort, and I think that they'll be back next year. But I do think that there's some interesting things going on in the locker room, like you were saying. Sean Payton divulging Bo Nix's medical history to the media didn't need to happen.
No.
and you
Definitely
definitely
not.
don't want to draw a rift between you and your stud young quarterback. Um, no free ads. Sorry, Hintwater. Um, but I I'm definitely leaning on the side that Sean Payton knows what he's doing and he is a successful head coach historically. But it's an interesting look. It really is.
Yeah.
Um, but before I give too many thoughts on New England, we got another game, don't we? Provided you're good yourself.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's all I got for that one. Seahawks and Rams. Unbelievable. I Again, this was another game, another instance where we picked the Seahawks, and in my heart, I wanted the Rams because I wanted to see Stafford get one more ring. I don't know. It's still up in the air if he'll be back next season. I think
Yeah,
it
there's
could
nothing
go either
official yet.
way.
There's
Um,
nothing official either way. I would lean
right.
him coming back, but it's not a for
Yeah.
sure thing.
I don't see, he can still go. I mean, in this game alone, I mean, they were balling. Stafford alone threw for 226 deep passing yards,
Yeah.
which is the third highest amount allowed by a defense in the past decade. So, I mean, the guy, he still got it. Um, Incredible game that ended not so incredibly. Right, we had that one last ditch attempt to save the game, but it came up short. Puka couldn't get out of bounds, and the clock ran down, no timeouts, and it was over. It was the Seattle defense once again. They allowed 27 points, but they still were able to make those critical stops when it really mattered, and that definitely won them the game.
No, absolutely. For as good as their defense has, been all season, it has been performing to its fullest extent this playoffs run. But I think that it's also because they played against two teams they've already seen twice this year. They played San Fran, they played the Rams. Um, but in saying that, Seattle's offense is clicking. The offense is clicking. I think Seattle is just all around disgusting. Um, the Rams put up an insane fight, and granted, you could look at it and be like, oh, they're the what were they, the 5 seed? Yeah, they're the 5 seed playing the 1 seed. The Rams were the supposed best team in the league for what,
Favorites, yeah.
10 weeks, 11 weeks this year. Um, so I think that's a little more indicative of once again teams playing each other for the third time this year. Um, I think that we kind of lost sight of the fact that this Rams team was that great, just a little bit. I don't think people were like, you know, thinking low on them, but it wasn't where it should be considering the season they had. And they literally did everything they could. Seattle just they kind of big broed them in a way. Like, hey, this is our time, this is our year. Sorry. Um, and obviously, like you said, there was that last ditch attempt. Like they put up a fight till the very end. Seattle just outlasted them. Um, and I do think Stafford comes back next year. He's a top three MVP candidate this year. Like he's clearly still got it. Why would he
Yeah.
not come back? Um, but also time will tell there. Maybe he decides he wants to go and maybe play somewhere he's been before. A little change of pace. Could you imagine Goff and Stafford get swapped again? Just throwing it
I don't
out
want
there.
to.
I figured. But no, I think the Rams did all they could, but Seattle just proved to be the better team this year. Also, quick side note: the last two times Seattle has made the Super Bowl, there was another big world event that year. New Pope was brought in. New Pope gets brought in. Seattle makes the Super Bowl. It's a 1-1 over the
Interesting.
last three popes. Just fun facts, They
Crazy
lost
stat.
in what is that? I believe 2000. I'm gonna call that 2009. They lost, and then they ended up winning against the Broncos in the next attempt. Um, but I think it's time to move off of the conference championship. I don't know how you're feeling.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to say, to your
By all
point, it
means.
does, to the point you made, the Rams' performance in this postseason. I mean, in kind of hindsight, maybe it does make sense. They had a very close game in the first round with the Panthers that they were able to squeak out. They had a very close game in the next round with the Bears that they were able to just squeak out. I mean, two games that if one couple of little different things happened, they maybe would have lost those games. So maybe it does, looking back, make sense that they lost this game against what is probably, the more well-rounded team.
No, absolutely. But even in saying that, Stafford put up 936 yards through those three
Oh
games.
yeah.
312 average
No.
is insane. Um, they played very, very well, all things considered. I think their defense may have let them down in spots. But no, I entirely agree. They looked they looked impressive for a team that almost lost every game they played. Um, but regardless of that, Seattle was too much.
Yeah.
Um, but speaking of Seattle, I think it's time for a little Super Bowl talk. We're finally here. It's I'm so stoked. I'm so excited for this football game. I think it's the defenses are going to ball out, and it's going to be whose offense can do the most in that with those constraints. How you feeling? Where you at?
I completely agree. It's going to be a defensive shootout with, some pretty, I think, impressive offense mixed in. I think we have some similar defenses here. With
Mm,
Seattle's ranked number 6. Uh, New England is 8th. Uh, Se- Seattle has allowed roughly 285 yards. Patriots have allowed 295. Uh, Seahawks have 47 sacks. Patriots have 49.
mm.
Uh, but I think I'm gonna have to give the edge to the Seahawks here all around. I there's been discourse all season. Drake May has it easy. The Patriots have had it easy. Strength of schedule, this and that. Wait until they face a real team. Wait until they face a real defense.
Mm.
They've done all that.
Yep.
But even in saying that, there's no there's no denying that the most well-rounded team right now is Seattle.
Oh, absolutely. No, Seattle is everything you want to see out of a rebuild. All three phases are clicking and they work perfectly together. They have great depth and just on top of everything else, they're well coached. Um, Seattle is an absolute force to be reckoned with. I will say, New England's defense this playoff run has been top notch. They do lead all playoff teams in yards per game allowed at 209.7. Seattle, they're a little below. I believe that's ranked six or seven there. They're averaging 357 yards allowed per season per game. Um, my only issue with that is there is a bit of a caveat there. New England did play Jarrett Stidham, so that definitely brings the numbies down a little bit. But I still think that New England's defense is just as good as Seattle's. Both of these teams are looking very healthy going into this game. Um, Most of the people on Seattle's injury report are just there for rest. I know Charles Cross is still dealing with a lower body injury. And Darnold with his oblique, he's been a limited participant still, but they are ramping up his the amount of work he has to do per practice. Like they're upping his reps, and that's a great sign for them. Drake May, full participant. Outside of that, there's not much injury news in New England. Um, but I still think that Dr- Sam Darnold, even with this injury as he showed last week, can still go out there and have a great performance. Um, so injuries aren't going to be much of a factor in this one. Um, I think it's very much going to come down to coaching and scheme. And out of their offenses, the scheme for Seattle is just it's superior to New England's at this point. New England feels kind of feels blocky sometimes. Like, you want to get the offense rolling, but you hit a flat spot.
Right.
And it feels like there's some things that could change there, or maybe some pieces that need to change, bring in some different people. But I do think that Seattle, on the other hand, is just it clicks, it goes, the offense moves. And especially with Sam Darnold now a week healthier, that offense is going to be looking closer and closer to what it looked like before. Um, I think they're just such a tough team to go in and look at and go, that's who we have to face. This is who we have to beat
Yeah,
this week. Um, Obviously I'm not in the locker room, but I fear Seattle more than New England. I'm a Bears fan. Going through the playoffs, once we won our first game and like once we went into overtime against the Rams, I'd start even before that. I'd start thinking about playoff situations and scenarios, and if it's going right for us, how do I want this to shake? I thought if we had to face Seattle, if we beat them, we're winning the Super Bowl. Straight up, I was like, if we face them and we beat them, there's no one that can stop us. In my eyes, they are hands down, bar none, the best team in the NFL this year. The way they're
absolutely.
constructed, the way they're coached, the way all three phases work so well. The way they brought in Demarcus Lawrence from the Cowboys, and he's just been an absolute force on the edge. It's just all working. It's all working so well that it's hard to look at this team and not go, that is the easy favorite. That's who's supposed to win. But I am I'm rooting for a good game. I want to see a close game, but I don't see it happening.
Just as long as everyone has fun, right?
I wouldn't go that far. I want the Packers fans to have a bad night.
That's fair. That's valid.
It is
No,
how it is.
it's been an incredible season.
It's been
Uh,
so good.
there's been a lot of not so incredible parts of it, or some head scratching moments, or some disappointing moments. Some tears.
Some
But
moments that make you fall to your knees and go, "Oh my god, I can't believe this is my life."
yeah,
Smiling through it all.
exactly. But no, I think this should be the perfect cherry on top for this kind of season that we've had.
Absolutely. Two great teams going at it, and two teams that I'd say match up very well against each other. I think they line up very well. Um, but in saying all that, you want to give our predictions?
I
Who
got
you rocking
Seattle.
with?
I
I
got the
figured. Yeah, I'm
Seahawks.
rocking Seattle as well.
I don't like you. I don't think it'll be a blowout. I don't see that happening.
No,
Um, but I
I
I
could
do give
totally
the
see
edge
them
to
winning
them.
handily though. Like I could see
Absolutely.
it being they jump out to a 10-point lead and it never goes back. You know what I mean? I don't think it's going to be a 20-point
Yeah.
game or anything of that nature, but I could see them going up those two scores and just holding that.
Yeah,
staying pat.
Patriots trying to play catch up all game, and then
Exactly. And I think that would be the worst case scenario for them, having Drake May try to play catch up there. It's not easy to do. Only some teams are built to go in and make fourth quarter comebacks.
yeah, I hear Drake May is
And
more of a mustard guy, so that's probably not.
all right, guys, and next week, um, but no, in all seriousness, next week we're gonna have definitely a Super Bowl recap. We're gonna go
Oh yeah,
back over that for you guys. Um, do a little more coaching talk. We've got 2 episodes out on the coaching chaos that this offseason has been. Um, and just talk about some of the coordinators that have landed places and moves of that nature. I know the NFL awards are tonight, NFL honors. Josh McDaniels is the AP Assistant Coach of the Year. Fun fact. I don't think anything else has been announced yet. Let me check that real quick. No, that's the only award
breaking
announced so
news! I
far.
think that's the first time we've announced breaking news on this channel.
True. First news
There
drop.
we
Look
go.
at us, guys. We're big time now. We're Hollywood. We're gonna stop talking to our family and friends. Uh,
It's always been the plan.
that's all I've ever wanted. Regardless, guys. Larry, you got anything?
I got nothing. I'm ready for next season.
I'm ready for a great offseason. I'm ready for a great Super
That
Bowl
too,
and then a
yeah.
very entertaining offseason. But anyways, thank you guys. Thank you for your time. This is our shortest video to date. Maybe this will be a little more suited for a lot of people, something they could squeeze in during a meal or something like that. But we appreciate any time you
Mustard.
give us. We really do. And we'll catch you guys next week with some more football talk.